So I decided to do my inquiry into Makerspace. I chose this topic for a couple of reasons. The first is Makerspace is something I'm very passionate about. It's something I believe is very valuable, and it's also something I see misapplied, which is why I decided to do research specifically into what an effective Makerspace program looks like, and the best ways to support classroom teachers in the implementation of Makerspace programming. Before I can do any of this, however, I think I need to define exactly what I mean when I say makerspace. There are many different definitions. However, all of them can be reduced down to the same core tenet, which is makerspace is learning by doing. This, of course, leads to another equally important question. Why is makerspace necessary or important? The short answer to this question is makerspace is important because it promotes metacognitive development. Metacognition is higher order thinking. It's the process by which we learn to think, learn, and then assess the quality of our thinking and our learning. There is significant evidence to suggest that metacognition is one of, if not the single greatest factor determining an individual's academic success, both at the grade school and university levels. What's more, metacognition is linked to lifelong career and financial success. It's generally assumed that metacognition can be developed in two ways. The first is by having students perform what we'll call metacognitive tasks. These are tasks that, by design, force students to assess the quality of their work and the work of others so they can begin to develop what we're going to call an objective schema, an understanding of what high-quality work looks like and the steps necessary to achieve it. Peer and self-assessment practices fall within the range of metacognitive tasks. The second way to promote metacognitive development is by having students perform tasks that stimulate specific cognitive abilities. Abilities like critical and creative thinking. Open-ended, unguided, and multi-solution challenges with specific end goals and requirements fall into this category. These types of activities force students to find their own solutions to real problems. In other words, students have to learn by doing. And of course, this type of activity is really just makerspace. It should be noted that in addition to promoting the development of crucial metacognitive skills, Makerspace offers other benefits. For example, it promotes technological literacy, growth mindset, and teamwork. In fact, it would be fair to say that Makerspace is an essential component of 21st century learning. Despite everything we know about Makerspace and the many benefits it can offer our students, it continues to be underutilized and misapplied. When I refer to misuse, I'm talking about confusing Makerspace for a creative building time, during which students can assemble various contraptions using disposables and other materials. Although there are benefits to this kind of imaginative building time, it isn't Makerspace. To be Makerspace, an activity must have a fixed end goal, a problem the students are attempting to solve. In other words, there has to be a success criteria. In terms of its underutilization, researchers have found that there are three obstacles teachers cite when justifying the exclusion of Makerspace from their classroom. The first is that teachers claim they do not have the skills necessary to run an effective Makerspace program. The second is that with everything else teachers have to teach, there simply isn't time for Makerspace. And the third is that it's really hard to find good Makerspace resources. Even though these obstacles are real to a certain degree at least, they are not insurmountable. Let's spend some time exploring these obstacles, starting with the idea that you have to have some specialized skill set to run an effective Makerspace program. This simply isn't the case. It's a myth. Most Makerspace resources are extremely user-friendly. They include teacher and student tutorials and can be easily implemented just like any other classroom resource. More complicated projects, these are things like sumo bots and potential energy vehicles that require ground-up construction and don't come in a kit, can be completed with hand tools and perseverance. It should also be noted that some districts offer introductory power tool training, equipping teachers with the necessary skills to complete complicated maker projects. All of which to say there is no necessary maker skill set. This is only an obstacle if you treat it like an obstacle. The second obstacle, that there simply isn't time for Makerspace, is far more legitimate. Teachers do face serious time constraints. For this reason, it's understandable that many view Makerspace as an extra activity they are not going to incorporate in their classroom. However, ADST is core content, just like math, English, and science, and Makerspace is a great way to cover this portion of the curriculum. Additionally, and more importantly, a good Makerspace program shouldn't just teach ADST skills, but rather should cover a swath of curricular content. By choosing appropriate projects with strong curricular ties, teachers can support science, math, social studies, and even English through Makerspace. Potential Energy Vehicles is a wonderful example of a Makerspace project that supports a variety of curricular competencies and curricular content at the grade 6-7 level. The third obstacle, that it's hard to find good maker resources, is also valid, at least to a degree. Resources like KivaPlink, Strawbees, QuickClick, Circuits, Lego, Sphero, and various coding websites, as well as lesson plans for these resources, are readily available and easily accessed through dedicated maker websites. Good maker projects, things requiring ground-up construction, are harder to find and particularly intimidating even when found, because they rarely include lesson plans and sequencing. For this reason, new maker projects can feel like taking a shot in the dark. Unfortunately, there's no secret maker database, and the best advice I can give someone looking to try a new project is treat it like an opportunity to collaborate and ask your colleagues for help. And if that doesn't work, just go for it. The nature of Makerspace is such that your students will learn a lot even if their projects fail. Which leads us back to my guiding question. How can teacher librarians support classroom teachers implement effective Makerspace programming? The answer to this question, based on the research I've done, is threefold. Firstly, teacher librarians can support classroom maker initiatives by stocking the library with good Makerspace kits and digital resources that include lesson plans with curricular links and possible extensions so teachers have a natural starting point. Secondly, teacher librarians can compile a collection of maker projects at each grade level. By doing the legwork and finding good Makerspace projects as well as effective sequencing, teacher librarians can greatly reduce the stress classroom teachers feel when starting a new project. Finally, teacher librarians can make themselves available for Makerspace collaborations. A teacher librarian's familiarity and comfort with all of the library's resources makes them the perfect person to support others in the implementation of these resources, including maker resources. All of which to say I strongly recommend including Makerspace in your classroom. The challenges are not insurmountable and the benefits are undeniable. If you are struggling to find a good starting place, find one resource or kit that you like, something like Lego or Kiva or Snap Circuit that can be easily implemented. If you're more interested in project-based Makerspace, go to the Skills Canada website. They have awesome projects, which often include sequencing. You should also check out the Makerspace for Education website. It's a fantastic resource and a support network. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation, and enjoy the rest of your day.